NASA hailed a new frontier last night after revealing some of the strongest evidence yet that alien life may exist. The space agency said that practically all the elements needed for life had been discovered in the same place in our solar system, on one of Saturn's icy moons. A missing ingredient, hydrogen, has been found for the first time on Enceladus. The breakthrough discovery was made by unmanned NASA spacecraft Cassini after 13 years exploring Saturn. During its deepest ever dive into high-powered jets of water from the moon's surface, it found hydrogen. The gas is the final piece of the puzzle following the discovery of water in an ocean under Enceladus' surface. It means Saturn's sixth moon may have the same single-celled organisms with which life began on Earth, or more complex creatures still. These organisms, still found on our planet within the darkest depths of our oceans, use hydrogen and carbon dioxide as fuel. Mary Voitek, senior astrobiologist at NASA headquarters, said last night, "This is a new frontier because this is the first time we have seen evidence of an alien food source in an ocean not on Earth. We knew we had two of the key ingredients for life and now we have the third. This is the most exciting discovery in my 8-year career at NASA. The building blocks of life on Enceladus are water, which no form of life on Earth can exist without, an energy source, and 6 elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. The last two of these, phosphorus and sulfur, have not yet been found in Enceladus' ocean, but scientists suspect them to be there because the rocky core of the moon is believed to be chemically similar to meteorites containing them. This now paves the way for further explorations to find life in our solar system. Professor David Rothery, professor of planetary geosciences at the Open University, said, "Right now, we only know of life beginning once in the universe, here on Earth, which leaves us alone in the dark. It could have simply been an incredible fluke. But if it has happened twice in this solar system, it opens up everything. There are tens of billions of worlds in our galaxy and there could be alien life on many of those too. Alien life was once only thought possible on habitable planets within the Goldilocks zone, far enough from our sun not to be a fireball, but not so far as to be freezing." Enceladus, a frozen moon around 800 million miles from Earth, was one of the least likely candidates. But in 2005 the Cassini spacecraft was orbiting Saturn when it picked up plumes of vapor coming from the tiger stripes, or deep fissures, in the moon's surface. This established that, while Enceladus is freezing on its surface, underneath is a liquid ocean. That ocean is warmed by rock at the core of the moon, tidally heated as Enceladus orbits Saturn. The gravity from the planet pulls the moon out of shape wherever it is closest, creating friction that heats the rock to 90 C, enough to melt the ice. Scientists did not have to drill beneath the ice to examine the reservoir under the moon's south pole, as its vapor erupted in plumes through cracks in the surface. Cassini, on its final mission before it runs out of fuel and is allowed to burn up in space, was sent diving deep into the jets. Yesterday NASA announced the spacecraft had found hydrogen as a gas, the form needed to support single-celled organisms in the moon's ocean. These microbes use hydrogen, which they cannot extract from water, like we use oxygen, to fuel their cells. Scientists know this form of life can exist after discovering similar creatures at the bottom of Earth's oceans. They are able to survive without sunlight, using hydrogen and carbon dioxide supplied by thermal heating from deep water vents. The Hubble telescope has twice seen similar vapor flumes coming off Jupiter's moon, Europa, which makes it a second key candidate for this kind of alien life. NASA's Europa Clipper mission, named after ships that sailed on Earth in the 19th century, will set off in the 2020s to search for the chemical ingredients of life on Europa. Jim Green, of the Planetary Science Division at NASA headquarters, said, "We are pushing the frontiers of finding new environments. We are looking in a way we never thought possible for environments on our solar system which may harbor life." Today, Cassini, which which made the major breakthrough using its mass spectrometer, will have a fiery end to its time in space. After orbiting Saturn for 13 years, its grand finale mission will end in September when it is diverted to crash into Saturn and burn up. Dr. David Clements, astrophysicist at Imperial College London, said, "This discovery does not mean that life exists on Enceladus, but it is a step on the way to that result." He added, "We need to know much more about the molecular species coming out of Enceladus and, ideally, that are inside it before we can make such claims. The building blocks of life on Enceladus are water, which no form of life on Earth can exist without, and carbon dioxide, which single-celled organisms called archaea, the step before bacteria, need to form their cells. Hydrogen gas, thought to be formed by the heated rocks beneath Enceladus, is needed along with a suitable temperature. The discovery of these four ingredients now paves the way for further explorations to find life in our solar system. Mars, which shares some of the same material as Earth, is a prime candidate, although scientists are now divided as to whether the moons in our solar system are a better bet. Titan, the largest of Saturn's 53 moons, is believed to have a subsurface ocean as salty as Earth's Dead Sea in Israel. Meanwhile, the Hubble telescope, the first telescope sent into space in 1990, which has made more than 1.3 million observations, last year spotted possible similar water plumes to those of Enceladus erupting from Jupiter's moon Europa. Evidence of a plume was seen at the same location in 2014, and the researchers say the new observations are further evidence that these plumes could be real and experience intermittent flare-ups. As scientists look further for living microbes on Enceladus, NASA's Europa Clipper mission, named after the Clipper ships which sailed across the oceans of our planet in the 19th century, will set off in the 2020s to search for the chemical ingredients of life. Cassini, which made the major breakthrough on Saturn's moon using its mass spectrometer, will have a fiery end to its mission. After orbiting Saturn for 13 years, its grand finale mission will end in September when it is diverted to crash into Saturn. The discoveries mark an important milestone in the search for alien life, which, the experts say, would be quite different from our own. These ocean worlds with their protective outer shell, if indeed there's life in there, it has to be completely different than ours in the sense that it's generated in a way that's not related to our life, said Jim Green, Director, Planetary Science Division at NASA headquarters. During the conference, "We call that a second genesis."